Hey everyone, it's Alex coming at you. Today we're going to do something a little different. Just wanted to kind of go over SOUNDOHM, what it is, and especially for those of you that are in the US, is it worth it to get a membership, to buy from them? What were the advantages and disadvantages? So I'm going to share my screen here so we can all see kind of what I'm talking about here. Here we go. So SOUNDOHM is a distributor and an online website. They're based out of Italy. The shop is run by a guy named Fabio Carboni, who also runs a couple of record labels, including Bloom and Daishato. Um, Actually, I bought something on Bloom that I will show at the end of the video. At the end of the video, I'll show the latest package that I just got in today from SOUNDOHM, and I'll show you guys how it's packaged and just some of the records that I bought just for fun. So you can see the website here. Very nice layout, easy to navigate. They usually have the new arrivals, featured prominently. And of course, they do have some of their own releases that they promote as well. For those of you that don't know SOUNDOHM, I mean, I don't want to pigeonhole them into any particular style because they really do cover a huge swath of different types of music, including tons of jazz, which you can see here. There's a Yusef Lateef. I think that's actually a bootleg, like a European bootleg. Obviously, there's an emphasis on European labels, but not exclusively. In fact, we'll go over a couple of different, examples to compare prices with some American releases as well. There's a lot of pre-orders as well. And of course, Stunty has talked about a lot of these releases. I know he goes through a lot of these listings extensively. Here's like a new krautrock release that came out, for example. And so, one of the things that they do offer, if you look at the bottom here, it says membership. So what is the SOUNDOHM membership? So SOUNDOHM membership for €60 annually, you get the following benefits. You get 10% discount on all purchases. You get free tracked shipping for combined orders of at least €140. You get advanced notification of new releases. And there are a lot of limited editions, a lot of, 2 and 3, 4 and 500 pressing editions that often are very difficult to find, especially in the US. And I guess they do run some sales. I've seen a whole lot of sales. So and part of the reason really that I'm doing this is I'm coming up on 1 year of being a member. And just kind of wanted to share my experience, with the membership. So let's first go through a couple of examples. I mean, I think one of the biggest reasons that I was attracted to even trying this, especially right now, is because obviously the exchange rate between the dollar and the euro is pretty favorable. I think the euro is basically about 8% more than the dollar at this point. So historically, I mean that's about as good as it's been, and that was one of the driving reasons too why I decided to try this now. And the other reason is because their base prices, or the prices here on the website, are actually in a lot of cases very, very competitive with other online stores, Discogs, and certainly brick and mortar stores. And of course, a lot of this stuff, especially the European stuff, very difficult to find in the US. I was just at Amoeba here in Hollywood, one of the largest, if not the largest, independent record store in the country. And yeah, they certainly do stock a fair amount of these, but not certainly not a lot, or certainly not the majority, I would say. And when they do get things like that in, might only be a couple of copies. So we'll take a couple. Let's take a look at a couple examples. So there's this record, fantastic record from the '70s by Cerrone. Bass cello player. A lot of you guys may remember him from playing with a bunch of these guys, including Coltrane, Fair Sanders, and so on. Anyway, there's a reissue that came out, I think, either last year or this year. As you can see, the price is €32 here. It is a UK-based reissue label, if I recall. Now, if you go to Bandcamp, to the labels, website, you do see that they have a couple different versions. There's a white vinyl version that's a little more expensive, but then the black vinyl is £25. So I mean that's a little bit over $30, and of course that does not include shipping. So if you're going to order this directly from the label, you would be paying probably closer to $40 after shipping. I don't know what their shipping fees are specifically, and I won't go through that here. Another US based shop that is fantastic, not just online, but is a brick and mortar, is the Dusty Groove out of Chicago, and they do carry a ton of great represses and European releases. And they do have this in stock currently, but it's going for $39. You do not have to pay sales tax if you are outside of Illinois, because it is a brick and mortar store with Dusty Groove, which is nice. But they do obviously have a shipping fee, which is probably like, if I recall, I think it's about $6 or so. So you're going to be well over $40 for this record if you ordered online through this, or even if you went to the shop and picked up a copy in Chicago. So now going to, again, the price here in at SOUNDOHM is €32, which is about $35. Pretty good price. Also, for US buyers, you do not have to pay sales tax since they are based out of Europe. And also, obviously with the membership, as you guys saw, you get free, shipping. So, you're basically just paying that $34, which is, quite cheaper than the other two locations that currently have it in stock. Now, obviously, this is a European reissue, so makes sense that it's going to be a little more expensive in the U.S. And obviously, with the pound exchange rate being much less favorable to the dollar, makes sense that ordering directly from the UK label is going to be more expensive. But let me go through another example, right? So Freedom to Spend is a great reissue label out of Portland. They just announced this really cool, indie record, I think from the 80s. So basically you can get it right now for, I already bought it, but yeah, so it's $26. However, all in, I was looking at my invoice, and you can see right here, there's a $6.50 shipping charge, and then of course I'm gonna be paying sales tax, which in California is about 9.5% on top of that. So you're gonna be paying well over $30 for this record, and that's directly from my US label, and not really all that far from me here in California. Now, obviously, these guys would be shipping out this record at the end of the month. So obviously, you expect that to be available a lot quicker to me living here in the US. Now we go to SOUNDOHM. They already have a pre-order for this. And it says arrives January 27th, the same as on the label site. So obviously it'll, this will basically ship, as soon as you hit that €140 mark. That is their minimum shipping fee, um, with the membership. But again, I mean, the price very competitive. It's about 30. It's about $31. Which is, like I said, that's it's going to be less than what you're paying with shipping and tax, directly from them. And lastly, I just want to highlight. So I know Stunty mentioned this pre-order, which actually is a pre-order here in the U.S. This is a Forced Exposure, probably the biggest online distributor of experimental and tons of European music, especially. So this obviously is on the Bloom label, which that actually is SOUNDOHM, the owner's one of the labels that he runs. So if you were to buy this in the US, you're going to be paying a base price of $66. You're going to be paying sales tax, and then for this, probably a little more shipping, probably closer to $8 since it is heavier. This is housed in like a wooden case. And again, if you stick around, I don't know if I'm going to show you the case, but I'll show you. Mine should have come in today. So obviously, if we go to SOUNDOHM and we take a look at the price on that one, I believe they might already be sold out, but we can at least take a look. Yeah, so it was selling for 50. Again, you get a 10% discount with membership, so I actually paid €45 for this. And again, because I'm a member, free shipping. So €45, is about $50. So significantly less than the price over at Force Exposure, which again is going to be well over $70 by the time you pay all the fees. So is it worth it? Has it been worth it? I think the biggest knock, I would say, or the biggest disadvantage with ordering through SOUNDOHM is, of course, they're shipping from Italy, and of course, you're hitting that €140 before they ship your package. So basically, they'll put your records aside as you order them, and you can, it's a very friendly, user-friendly website. I'm not going to log into my account here, but basically it'll show all the records that I've ordered, and it'll tell me, if it's already been, set aside for me, or if they're still waiting for it from the distributor. And, once I hit that threshold, they usually will automatically ship it. Sometimes if they're still waiting, if there's a delay on a release, for example, they might kind of wait a little bit longer. So you may just have to prompt them and say, okay, well, you can hold off on sending that record for now, and you can send the rest of my package as soon as possible. They do use FedEx, so once they do put the order together, it arrives within a week or so at the most. And I'll show you guys the packaging also. So you do have to be patient. They are a small business. This guy Fabio is running a couple of different labels, and there's somebody that's answering the emails. I actually wouldn't recommend using email to communicate with them at all. They're not great at answering emails. However, if you are a member, you'll be able to see in your order log, you'll be able to send messages sort of within the website, and they do seem to respond to those a little bit quicker. But in general, I really haven't had any issues as far as them not having things that that they say are in stock or pre-orders. I know Stunty did mention with one of his records that he had recommended that they did ended up not having in stock, and he had to end up getting it somewhere else. I mean, I know stuff like that happens with other distributors, other websites, so not necessarily a big issue, but certainly that is something that can happen. And again, for the price of 60 euros, and especially if if say you split that cost, with somebody else, that you're friends with locally or whatever, it ends up putting a really good value. I mean, as you saw some of the cost comparisons, I mean, you can, if you order 5, 6 records and you're, saving, 5, 10 euros each just on price alone, on sales tax, and of course on the shipping is the biggest savings. Then it's well worth it. So I would say even if you're just gonna, hit the 140 euro order for the entire year, um, I think probably, and obviously it'll depend on exactly what you're ordering. You're probably gonna break even. And certainly, if you live somewhere where you don't have shops that even have access to these types of releases, then certainly it's giving you even more value. So that's a quick summary. Hope you guys got some useful information out of that. Let me know if you have any other comments, questions, or experiences. Share those below in the comments. So I'll just I'll add in a clip here of me opening a package that just arrived today. Thanks, everyone. All right, so here is the package I just got from SOUNDOHM this week. Pretty hefty package. It's obviously shipped via FedEx. Pretty well wrapped. We'll tear it open and show you guys the packaging real quick. All right, so here's the packaging. In general, I would say it's sufficient. It's not incredibly sort of, sturdy, but I've never had any issues with anything being damaged. So let's have a look here. I can't remember how many records I have in this order, but that was a good 8 or so, including first one here, which is okay. So it looks like they actually had additional bubble wrap inside of the box here. So first one is the Phil Nyblock box set. I know Stunty talked about this previously. Really excited to have this. Obviously the heaviest of the group here, since it comes in this wooden case. So it's the first time on vinyl. On that one was a CD only release. I got this one, non-artist I was familiar with, another Stunty recommendation. Look forward to that. I'm a big fan of this artist, Italian Walter Maglioli. This is one of the last ones that I needed from him. It was a cassette-only release from the 80s. They actually just reissued this again because it had been out of print for a while. This is kind of a blindish buy. I know I sampled it a little bit online. It's called, it's an artist, it's Pefkin, and with Roxanne Midori. Really interesting art cover here. Yeah, can't remember exactly what it sounded like, but look forward to that. I talked about Alvin Kerr in my last in my tag video. This was his new release of his. Michael Valentini gave me a heads up on that. Really look forward to listening to that. There's Alvin himself. A couple more here. Cozy Fanny Tutti with Throbbing Gristle here. This was a soundtrack. If I recall correctly, I wrote this one quite a while ago. Yeah. Original soundtrack recordings from the film Delia Derbyshire movie, The Myths of the Legendary Tapes. Look forward to that for sure. Midori Takada, one of my favorite percussionists, Japanese. This was another one that was a CD only, first time on vinyl. Awesome. And then finally, this Christina Vantsu, Michael Harrison, and John Bennett release here on the Sands Center label. Really look forward to spinning that. So that's it. Everything arrived in really good condition. It's really, might be, a little bit of corner damage on a couple of these, but in general, everything arrived really safely. And yeah, all these releases that are really difficult to find online, especially at shops. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. And see you on the next one.